For those of you who are new to the violin, it's important to know the different parts of the violin. So this is a beginner video of naming some of the parts of the violin that are good to know. So let's start up here. This twirly little thing is called the scroll. These black things, they actually turn the strings to make them higher or lower. Those are called the pegs. So then this thing is called the peg box. There's this little teeny tiny thing where the strings sort of go over to go down. That's called the nut. And this long black thing is called the fingerboard because that's where we put our fingers. So it's called the fingerboard. This part here is called the neck. So this is sort of sometimes called the head, the neck, and then the body of the violin. Then we have the bridge. The bridge holds those strings up so that when we play with our bow, the strings don't collapse. Then we have down here the tailpiece. Then we have the chin rest. And these are the F holes. All right. Then we have the bow. Now the bow is made up of wood or sometimes carbon fiber or plastic and then horsehair. So make sure not to touch the hairs because if you get your oil of your skin on them, it makes the hairs not perform as well. So it's good not to touch them as much as possible. This part of the bow is called the frog. This part is called the tip. When you are getting the violin out to practice it, you have to make sure to tighten your bow. And then when you put it into the case, when you're finished, you have to loosen the bow. Otherwise, the bow can get warped, and that's not a good thing. So this little thing down here is called the button. It's a screw that goes into the wood that makes the hairs tighter and then makes them looser depending on what direction you go. So you have to make sure that you loosen the bow when you put it away. But when you go to practice, you have to tighten it up a few times. And you tighten it as much as, say, your little pinky can sort of fit in. Not more than that though. That too much can warp the wood as well. Okay, now we need to go over the strings and the names of the strings. Luckily there's only 4 strings, so we have to remember 4 letters. The lowest string is the G string. Then next to that is the D string. And then next is A, and then the next is the E string. So sometimes the G string is really low like grandpa voice. And then the next one is the D string, and I think of like the dad voice. And then the A string is like the mom voice, and then the E string is like the little baby voice. That's how I keep it in my head. So G, D, A, and E. So there's a musical alphabet to memorize. It's pretty easy. It's just like the regular alphabet, but not as long. So all you have to say is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then start over. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's all. Now, if you were to have the G string here and you put your finger down on the very first tape, you actually is the next note in the alphabet. So if you're at G at the end of the alphabet, it's not H and it's not I, you actually start over. It goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and A. So if I have the G string, I put my first finger on the G string, that would be A. My second finger, you think, oh, what comes after A in the alphabet? A, B, so it's B. Then I put my third finger down. What comes after B in the alphabet is C. Put my fourth finger down. What comes after C is D. Your fourth finger on the G string is D. It's the same note as the D string. So you follow that pattern all the way up. If you have D with no fingers, it's called open. So open D or open G just means no fingers at all. Then you put one finger down, your first finger down on the D string. That would make you think, oh, what comes after D in the alphabet? It's E. So first finger on the D string is E. The next finger on the D string is F. This one is actually F sharp. And then G, and then A. And that fourth finger, A, is the same as the A string, which is no fingers, open A. Open A, then you put your first finger down, you think, what comes after A? B. All right, so it's first finger on the A string is B. Second finger on the A string, you just keep going up the alphabet. C, and here it's C sharp, and then D, and then E. And as you've learned, the fourth finger on the strings is actually the same as the following string that goes higher. So this is E, which is the same as open E. Now let's finish it off with the first finger on the E string is F sharp. And then second finger is G sharp. Third finger is A. Fourth finger is B. So those are all the notes in first position with the tapes. I'll do another video with more detail on that.